Perfect. Perfect.
Perfect. All right. Now we'll get started. So good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're going to spend the next 45 minutes or so talking about the importance of sports nutrition, how it really applies to everybody, and kind of how you can use it in your day-to-day. So just as a quick introduction of myself, for those of you guys that I don't know or haven't met, I've been with Herbalife for about 3.5 years now, and my role, in addition to working with doing sports nutrition trainings, doing Herbalife 24 trainings, is working with our sponsored teams and athletes. So we have over 150 teams and athletes worldwide. We sponsored 80 plus Olympic athletes. I think it was 83 athletes we had in the Rio Games. We sponsor 6 Olympic committees. I don't have to tell you probably that we sponsor Ronaldo. And really the reason that I tell you this is because for us, it's so important that we're true partners with everyone that we sponsor. So when I'm traveling, we sit with every single one of our sponsored athletes when we sign them and say, how can we help you? No different than what you guys do on a daily basis with your clients, with your customers, is you say, how can I help you? How can I help you achieve your goals? We do the exact same thing with our sponsored teams and athletes. So I sit with them and say, explain some of the products to them. We usually start small, integrate 1 or 2, figure out how they can really use the products on a daily basis. So if anyone ever asks you, that's cool, you guys sponsor all these athletes, but do they actually use the products? I can tell you absolutely. So our athletes are truly products of the product. They, we'll end sponsorships if we feel like our athletes aren't using our products. And I know especially there in the Nordics, I've been there twice now and met with all of the incredible athletes there, and they certainly are no exception to that at all. They certainly love the products, use the products, and it's always such a pleasure to be able to talk to them about how they can improve their performance through sports nutrition. So when we talk about sports nutrition, it's really something that, we can't just say, hey, I'm going to go do sports nutrition, right? We have to understand kind of what it is, why we want to utilize sports nutrition, and how it makes sense. So a lot of times people think like, okay, I'm not an elite athlete, so sports nutrition is not for me. But the reality is that anybody that is active, anybody that is exercising, sports nutrition really applies to you, okay? So whether you're Ronaldo, whether you're an Olympic athlete, or you're somebody that's just starting to exercise for the first time, on the inside, your body uses carbohydrates the same way, your body utilizes proteins the same way. And so, especially as you're starting into an exercise program, it's really, really important that you help fuel your body properly and you help your body recover so that you can continue to exercise day in and day out. Okay, so I think oftentimes we hear sports nutrition and people say, oh, well, that's not me, I'm not an elite athlete, so I don't really care about that. But the reality is that it really is for everybody, okay? Because when we talk about sports nutrition, it's simply the idea of eating the right nutrients at the right time, okay? Eating with a purpose. So you're spending this time, whether it's 20 minutes, whether it's 2 hours a day, exercising your body. You want to make sure that you're eating in a way that's going to help maximize your results at the gym or on the bike or in the dance studio or wherever it may be, so that you get the most out of that workout. Because one of my favorite sayings is, you can't out exercise a bad diet. Okay, so if you think about that, you can't out exercise a bad diet. And what that means is, we hear it all the time. Oh, I went to the gym today, so I can eat whatever I want. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't really work that way, right? So we've still got to, when we're exercising and we're putting these stresses on our body, it's so important that we eat purposely so we can get the most out of whatever that workout is that you're doing. Okay, so to start your day, you've got to have a healthy breakfast. Okay, no matter what type of athlete you are, no matter what type of sport, no matter what type of exercise it is that you're doing, you have to start with a healthy breakfast. Okay, so I know you guys know Formula One just as well as I do. But I think the thing that I want to emphasize about Formula One that we don't talk a lot about is the 20 plus vitamins and minerals. Okay, so we talk about the protein, we talk about the carbohydrates, but the reality is when you're exercising, you're actually using more vitamins and minerals than if you were just sitting still. Okay, so things like muscle contraction, energy production, all of these things, they require vitamins and minerals. So having things like Formula 2 and your Formula 1 with all these vitamins and minerals, it's really, really important because your body has a higher reliance on vitamins and minerals, okay? But you can also use Formula 1 sport. So a lot of people think, okay, well, Formula 1 sport, again, it's only for elite athletes, but that's really not the case, okay? So if you look actually at a side-by-side comparison of Formula 1 versus Formula 1 sport, what you see is pretty much equal numbers, okay? The main difference between Formula 1 and Formula 1 sport is the type of protein, okay? So Formula 1 sport is a dairy-based protein, which I'll talk a little bit about at the end about why a lot of our athletes prefer a dairy-based protein. But you can go one day to the next. I want Formula 1 today for breakfast. Okay, now today I want Formula 1 sport. You can go back and forth without impacting your caloric intake for that day, right? So 90 calories, 9 grams of sugar, 9 grams of protein, blend it with milk, berries, make a complete breakfast out of it. But it's, a lot of the people I hear say, well, Formula 1, is it going to make, or Formula 1 sport, is it going to make me fat? No, okay? You can really use it if you're working out that day or not. You can really use Formula 1 and Formula 1 sport interchangeably, okay? Because they're going to give you, the same amount of calories and all of that. The only other thing that Formula 1 sport has is some more vitamins and minerals, okay? And while I just mentioned that's really important for someone that's exercising, it's also really important in general. I think if we look at a typical diet of someone, oftentimes it's devoid of the amount of vitamins and minerals that we need. So there's absolutely no reason why Formula 1 or Formula 1 sport wouldn't be a good option every day for a breakfast. So no matter who you are, you've got to have breakfast, okay? Someone told me once, if you make a good decision for breakfast, it's a lot easier to make good decisions throughout the rest of your day, right? You've made that commitment, you've made that choice in the morning that you're going to set your day off right, you're going to have good quality nutrition, and it's really, really important going forward. So breakfast is set, okay? Formula 1 sport, maybe you have some eggs with it, maybe you have some toast. And now for the rest of the presentation, I want to structure it more as, okay, what do you want to do before, during, and after your workout? Okay, so your body's going to have certain goals that you want to achieve. Okay, there's certain things that your body really needs before you can work out, during your workout, and after your workout to help maximize what it is that you're doing. Okay, so on the screen, you see kind of a list of things that your body wants to do. So you want to top off your glycogen stores. All that means is it's kind of a fancy way of saying you want to fill your body's gas tank, okay? Glycogen is the body's stored form of carbohydrates, and it's where your body is going to go to access energy, okay? So we don't store a lot of glycogen, okay? Only about 90 minutes worth. So it's really important that you consume it, top off that gas tank so you're able to perform at a high level. We want to make sure that your body has amino acids, okay? That's going to come from protein. So a protein is essentially amino acids all put together, okay? So if you think of like a puzzle, right? You can have a puzzle that's full of a bunch of different pieces that you put together and it makes a picture of a mountain, right? Or you could take those puzzle pieces, rearrange them, and it's the ocean, okay? That's the same idea with a protein, right? So you have all these puzzle pieces, which are called amino acids, and you put them together into different ways, and you can get a dairy protein, or you can get a soy protein, or you can get, a beef protein, okay? And then when you eat them, they're just broken back down into those puzzle pieces or those amino acids, and they enter your muscles, okay? So that's something you want to have. You want to be hydrated. If you ask any of our athletes, it's one of my favorite things to talk about is the importance of hydration because it's so critical, okay? You want to be mentally focused and you want to have healthy blood flow. Okay, so how are we going to accomplish that? Well, when we're talking about enhancing mental focus, one thing you can do is have some caffeine. Okay, so if you look at this graph, and I apologize, I used to be a professor, so I'm going to give you guys a couple graphs, and but I'll make them as straightforward as possible. So what you're looking at here is you're looking at people that were doing a time trial on a bike, okay? And the top two lines represent someone that had either a placebo, which was just nothing, or a drink that was decaffeinated, okay? The bottom two were either coffee or some other type of caffeine, maybe like a tea, guarana, something like that. And what you can see is the people that had the caffeine finished the time trial in less time than the people that didn't have caffeine. Okay, so there's a lot of research that supports the idea that caffeine can really give you a sensation of a boost, and it can help you with your mental focus and ultimately help you with your performance. Okay, so caffeine is a great option. Typically, I would say, 15 to 45 minutes or so before your workout is when you want to have some caffeine. So tea, energy, whatever your choice is, 15 to 45 minutes beforehand. So caffeine typically will peak within your body at about 30 to 40 minutes after. So if you have it, 20, 30 minutes before, it's going to peak somewhere at the beginning of your workout. Okay. If you're in a country that has Nightworks, you can also use that as a pre-workout. Okay, so Nightworks has what we call nitric oxide precursors. And what these do is they increase the amount of nitric oxide production in your body. And what that does is it basically dilates your blood vessels so that more blood can flow to your working muscles. Okay, and why that matters is that blood carries oxygen. Okay, so the oxygen is going to be really important for energy production. So if you're in a country that has Nightworks, you can certainly use that as a pre-workout option as well to help support the healthy blood flow. Okay, so you had your breakfast, maybe you had some caffeine, maybe you had some Nightworks before your workout. Now you've got to make sure that you're fueling yourself properly during your training. Okay, so while you're training, you want to make sure that you're providing your body with adequate fuel, and you're enhancing your recovery time, okay? Because ultimately, we want to be able to exercise day in and day out, okay? And this is where carbohydrates really become important, okay? So this is the right side. Okay, so when we're talking about carbohydrates, we want to, there's a lot of misconceptions about carbohydrates. There's a lot of people that think, okay, carbohydrates are going to make me fat. I'm not going to eat carbohydrates. They're bad for me. But the reality is your body needs carbohydrates, okay? You need carbohydrates for fuel. You need carbohydrates for energy, okay? So typically, if you're consuming your carbohydrates around your workout, your body's going to use them, okay? Your body's going to access the energy from the carbohydrates really quickly and help fuel you, okay? The more intense your workout is, the more your body's going to use carbohydrates, okay? So if you look at this, what you can see on the graph that kind of looks like an X, you can see on the bottom, it's the intensity of your workout, okay? How hard are you exercising? And the blue line represents the amount that your body is using carbohydrates. Okay, so you can see the harder the workout, the more your body needs carbohydrates. Okay, so if you're trying to do a low carbohydrate diet and you're doing, interval type training or, hard training, your body's just simply not going to be able to perform at the highest level possible, which in my opinion probably defeats the purpose of your workout, right? You want to be able to get that most out of your workout as possible. So you want to make sure that you've got some good quality carbohydrates. Okay, so especially interval type training, when we talk about high intensity training, that's a type of exercise where maybe if you're working out with a friend, you can't really carry on a conversation with them. You're working that hard. Okay, moderate intensity would be you're working out with someone, you can carry on a conversation, but it's a little bit difficult. Okay, so moderate to high intensity exercise, your body is going to be relying a lot on carbohydrates for fuel. So it's going to be very, very important that you have adequate carbohydrates. Okay. Like I mentioned before, we don't store a lot. So if you look at this, what this is showing you is 2 muscle fibers, one before a football match and one after. And the white represents muscle fibers that are completely full of glycogen. Okay. You can see 90 minutes afterwards, there's a significant depletion of your glycogen stores. Okay. So you want to make sure, we all know your car does not run as well when it's getting close to empty. Okay. So we want to make sure that we have enough fuel to be able to maintain our performance. Okay. But it's not just enough to have carbohydrates. Okay. We also have to be hydrated. So hydration is critical. If you look at this graph that we have, it represents 2 people, one that's dehydrated and one that's hydrated. Okay, so the black line is someone that's hydrated, the white is someone that's dehydrated. And what you can see is that as you're going, the person that's dehydrated gets slower and slower and slower, faster than that person that's hydrated. Okay, the crazy thing about this is that it only takes being about 2% dehydrated from your norm to see a result like this. Okay, only 2%. You don't have to be very, very dehydrated before it starts negatively impacting your workout. Okay, and again, when we're talking about performance, we're not talking about winning a marathon or qualifying for the Olympics. We're simply talking about how do you get through your workout as best as possible. Maybe it's 1 more rep in the gym. Maybe it's, being able to ride 1 more mile on your bike. Whatever it is, hydration is going to play a really critical role in that for you. Okay. And it's something that you have to stay on top of, because once you feel like you're thirsty, you're actually already a little bit dehydrated. Okay. So really important to always carry a water bottle with you, have a glass of water on your desk or by your bed or wherever it may be, so that you're constantly reminding yourself to be hydrated. Okay. If you're traveling, airplanes dehydrate you a lot. Different environmental conditions can really play a huge role in your hydration also. I don't know if it has made the news over there, but Southern California right now is horrible, horrible fires here, and big portions of Southern California are on fire, and the smoke and everything in the air is just, dehydrating everybody. And so it's causing a lot of problems. So it's very important that you really stay on top of your hydration, especially if you're changing climates or if you're traveling or if you're in the car for long periods of time. It's really critical. So you have a couple options. One is hydrate. Honestly, one of my favorite products. Okay, super easy to take with you anywhere you go. You've got the stick pack, throw it in your bag, leave some in your car, whatever it is, throw it in the water. you're adding less than 15 calories to your day, less than a gram of sugar. It's really a great way to help keep you hydrated without adding a lot of extra calories, okay? Because, you know, oftentimes people say to me, hey, you know, Dana, I'm eating as many calories as you told me to, but I'm not losing weight. Why? And my answer is usually, okay, what are you drinking? You know, and they'll say, well, okay, I have this coffee drink thing in the morning. I have, you know, a couple of sodas through the day just because I feel like I'm running out of energy. And then I'll have, you know, a beer or a glass of wine at night. Well, that can actually be close to 1,000 extra calories, right? 1,000 extra calories of nothing that's adding any real nutritional value to your day whatsoever. So I know the taste of water can get boring, but that's where something like Hydrate or Aloe or herbal tea concentrate are really good options to mix up the flavor of water, but also help with your hydration. Okay, so you can certainly, exercising or not, Hydrate you can use every day. Okay, it's something that our athletes really, really love. It's one of their favorite products. And it's really just a good go-to. I know for me, whenever I'm on a plane, I have some Hydrate that I put into my water. Okay, but that's not the only option. So when you start exercising, like we just said, you need carbohydrates plus electrolytes. And that's where CR7 Drive really can come into play. Okay, so just as a quick backstory, kind of to tie into the first slide that I talked about, which is our sponsor teams and athletes, and how we don't really think of them as sponsorships, but rather we think of them as partnerships. And I think there's no better example than with CR7 Drive. So when we create a product that's got someone's face on it, we want to make sure that they're part of the process. Okay, so when we look at Drive, we looked at, okay, what does Ronaldo need for nutrition? Okay, so he had good basic nutrition, he has Formula One, he has Rebo strength post-workout. What he really needed was something to fuel him on the pitch. Okay, so that's where this idea of a sports drink came about, right? We looked at what does he actually need? All right, well, he's low in B12, he's low in magnesium, which, as it turns out, most athletes, or a lot of athletes, or people that are physically active, are low in B12 and magnesium. Okay, so B12 you need for carbohydrate metabolism, so how your body actually uses those. Magnesium is very important in muscle contraction and muscle. So you'll see there's more B12 and there's more magnesium in CR7 Drive. And then when it came to the flavor, that was simply his voice. Okay, so the inspiration for this product started at the top, but we also know it needs to be something that every single person can use every day, right? And I said at the beginning, sports nutrition really applies to everybody that's exercising, because whether you're Ronaldo or not, your body's still got to use carbohydrates for energy. Your body's still got to use electrolytes to maintain your hydration. So we tested this product with the everyday person, with cyclists, with gym goers, with everybody, to make sure that they were really getting something that was going to be useful for them. And what ended up was a light tasting, easy to drink, kind of our modern take on a sports drink, right? Because what we heard a lot was, well, a lot of sports drinks are super like syrupy, and so we mix them half with water so that we can dilute them. So we wanted to make sure that this was something that could be just used as is, right? So as with all of the Herbalife 24 products, there's no artificial flavors or sweeteners, all banned substance tested. And in this case, with CR7 Drive, one serving is 100 calories or 18 grams of sugar. Okay, now I know there's a lot of questions on the sugar, so let me kind of clarify this. So they should say 100 calories, 18 grams of sugar. When you look relative to what other people are drinking or what people will think would be a healthy type of food for during exercise, you're going to see that CR7 Drive is really, from a sugar standpoint, not really different than, say, a banana, okay? And the thing is that I showed you that graph with what type of fuel your body is using, and as you're exercising, your body is going to be using these sugars, okay? This is not a sit on the couch, watch TV sort of product. That's hydrate. You could sit on the couch and drink hydrate and not do anything, and it's totally fine. But as you start exercising, as you start sweating, as your heart rate starts to go up, that's when you want to switch to CR7 Drive, because your body's going to be using those sugars, okay? So just to give you a sense of kind of when and how to use it, I think one of the greatest things about CR7 Drive is that it's super versatile, okay? So you can use more or less depending on the type of workout that you're doing, okay? So what you can see here is just an example of different types of workouts and the average amount of calories that you're gonna burn, okay? So say you're gonna go for a brisk walk, okay? You're gonna burn maybe 200, 250 calories. Great workout, nothing wrong with that workout, but probably not the time that you wanna consume 100 calories, okay? If you're doing a brisk walk, maybe you use, a quarter of a serving, so you're getting 25 calories, or you use hydrate, okay? That's a great option. But maybe you're playing a soccer match, or a football match, and you're gonna be burning over 1,000 calories. Well, 100 calories is not gonna cut it. 100 calories is not gonna be enough, so you can use 2 or 3 servings to really fuel you during the course of that game, right? Because if you look at a soccer match, 90 minutes, but you've got a warm up, you've got halftime, maybe you've got some extra time built in there also. You want to make sure that when it comes down to a 0-0 match in the 90th minute, you want to make sure you've got fuel left in that tank, right? So by having CR7 Drive throughout, it's going to make sure that you have adequate fuel to really keep you going during that match, okay? Or, maybe you're a triathlete. So we were just at the Ironman World Championships in Kona. We had Asa, who was there, one of your sponsored athletes, and Heather Jackson, and they really rely a lot on CR7 Drive, especially on the bike, to fuel them. So they'll do several servings of CR7 Drive per hour to help make sure that they've got enough to keep their body going, okay? So you fueled yourself, you hydrated yourself, you had a good breakfast, but it doesn't stop as soon as your workout's over, okay? You've still got to take care of your body, okay? You've got to make sure that you're able to work out day in and day out. And I think, one of the things that we don't talk a lot about is that while exercise has countless health benefits, it's actually it's really difficult on your body, okay? It dehydrates you. It, goes through all of your glycogen stores, and it breaks down your muscle fibers, okay? And while those all sound like bad things, they all are just part of exercise, and they ultimately help you over time. If you fuel yourself properly, they help your body achieve the results that you're looking for, okay? You can't build muscle without breaking down muscle first, okay? But you've got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, okay? And that's where protein really comes into play. So, I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm going to have protein for energy. It's not necessarily the case, okay? Your body can use protein for energy, but it doesn't want to, okay? If you're a healthy, nourished person, like less than 2% of your energy from the day is going to come from protein, okay? So your energy is going to come from your carbohydrates, energy is going to come from fats, and there's really no need for your body to be getting energy from protein, okay? So we want to save protein for what it's best at, which is building muscle, okay? So think back again to those amino acids, those puzzle pieces that we talked about. Those amino acids, when you consume them, enter your muscle and help repair the broken muscle fibers from the exercise that you just did. Okay, so you want to make sure that immediately post exercise, within 30 minutes or so of finishing your workout, that you're putting good quality protein into your body. Okay, and I want to challenge you a little bit to think about protein differently. Okay, because I think a lot of times people think, well, I'm not a 20-year-old guy trying to be some bodybuilder type, so I don't really need protein. But the thing is that everybody needs protein. Okay, so protein's going to help you build your muscle, which, think about an older adult. Okay, when we work with older adults, one of the biggest issues we see is increased risk of falling. Okay, and when you increase your risk of falling, that can lead to all sorts of other issues. Okay, and there's multiple components that increase the risk of falls, but a big part of it is loss of muscle mass and loss of strength as you get older. Okay, and so you've got to have leg strength, you've got to have core strength to be able to walk and keep your balance. Okay, so even for older adults, consuming adequate protein and maintaining your muscle mass is really, really, really important in order to help preserve your independence as you age. Okay, protein also helps you feel like you're full for a longer period of time than carbohydrates. So if you're someone that's exercising and you're trying to lose weight, protein is also critical for helping you feel full for a longer period of time. Okay, so whether you're that guy going to the gym or that girl going to the gym trying to build muscle, whether you're the older adult, whether you're the person trying to lose weight, no matter who you are, you've got to be supplying your body with protein throughout the day, and really, really important right after you work out. Okay, so typically we say 20 to 40 grams of protein. Okay, because basically you've got to have enough protein after your workout to tell the body, hey, it's time to repair. Okay, it's time to rebuild. And we know that window is somewhere between 20 to 40 grams. Okay, so depending on the type of workout, depending on how big you are. So I'm a fairly small person, so I stick to more of the 20 to 25 grams. With our American football players that are massive, more around the 40 grams. Okay, but everybody needs to have at least the 20 grams, right? And this graph kind of explains why. So if you're looking at this on the bottom, it's how much protein you're taking in versus a measure of muscle synthesis. Okay, what you can see is from 0 to 20, there is an increase in how much muscle repair is going to happen. Okay, from 20 to 40, that relationship starts to flatten out. Okay, that's kind of the sweet spot of muscle building, is 20 to 40 grams of protein. If we carried this on past 40 grams, it would not get any better. Okay, this is the case where more does not mean better. Okay, your body can only handle about 40 grams at one time. So if you're like, oh, I'm going to consume 80 grams of protein after a workout, you kind of just wasted 40 grams, plus your body may store it as fat, all sorts of things you don't want to happen. Okay, so no need to really go past the 40, at most 45 gram protein mark post-workout. Okay, if you're thinking about that in terms of food, that's a few eggs, that's a piece of chicken about the size of your cell phone, or a protein shake. Okay, those are good kind of measures for thinking about what 20 to 40 grams of protein is. And I mentioned at the beginning the difference between Formula One and Formula One Sport is the dairy protein. Okay, and this graph, I know it looks terrible and complicated and everything. This kind of explains why a lot of athletes prefer a dairy protein. Okay, so dairy protein has two components to it: a whey protein and a casein protein. Okay, the whey protein, you can see with the little triangles, it's absorbed by the body and utilized by the body very, very, very quickly. Okay, so if you consume, a dairy protein right after your workout, that whey protein is going to start helping you with that repair and that rebuilding process right away. Okay, immediately. But we also know that when you finish working out, your body doesn't just go back to normal right away. It takes, depending on the intensity of the workout, sometimes several hours to bring itself back to normal. And you want to support that process, okay? And that's where the second component of dairy protein, which is called casein, that helps with this sustained recovery, okay? So it's utilized by the body much more slowly and more over time, okay? So that combination of whey plus casein gives you the immediate and sustained recovery, okay? And so that's why a lot of athletes prefer a dairy protein, is because of this combination of whey plus casein, okay? Soy protein is somewhere in the middle, and it's also a fine option post-workout because it has all of the essential amino acids that the body needs. But it's very important that even with soy protein, you still get at least 20 grams of protein. Okay, so if you were going to use Formula 1 post-workout, you want to use Formula 1 plus some PPP, maybe plus some milk to get to that 22 grams of protein so that your body's still getting what it needs. Okay, but this is really the reason why a lot of athletes prefer a dairy protein, is this difference in absorption rates. Okay, but I think one of the biggest misconceptions about what you need post-workout is that a lot of people say, well, I only want protein. Okay, I only need protein. Well, the thing is that protein actually works best when it's combined with carbohydrates. Okay, so if you go onto either my Instagram or the Herbalife24 Facebook page, or Instagram, I'm not sure, or YouTube, I put together a little video on how the body uses carbohydrates plus protein post-workout, because basically what happens is the carbohydrates spike what's called your insulin levels. When that happens, it, in essence, kind of opens up the gates to your muscles and allows the amino acids to get in. But without those carbohydrates, those amino acids don't get in as easily, okay? And that's all that this graph is representing. So it's looking at muscle synthesis, so muscle growth. If you have just carbohydrate, which is the CHO, if you have just protein or amino acids, which is the AA, or if you have a combination of carbohydrates plus amino acids. And you can see here the combination of carbohydrates plus amino acids is really what your body needs to maximize muscle growth. Okay, so a lot of people will say to you, I just want whey protein. Nah, you actually need protein plus carbohydrates. So if you haven't looked for that video, I can send it over to you guys as well so that you can have that. If people ask you, it's like a quick 45-second explanation of why carbs plus protein is really important. Okay. And so that's where we get Rebuild Strength from. So like everything, like every Herbalife product, everything is going to be based on science. Okay, and Rebuild Strength is no different. You can see the protein content is within that 20 to 40 gram range. It's got 19 grams of carbohydrates, so it's got that combination of protein plus carbohydrates. It's really going to help your body out. Okay, but one thing, again, my goal is kind of to help challenge people think a little bit differently, is that while Rebuild Strength is an awesome option post-workout, and after every single workout you should be taking Rebuild Strength, it's not the only time that you can use Rebuild Strength. Okay, think about the typical snack that somebody has. They'll have a 200, 250, 300 calorie snack during the day, no big deal. Or they'll go to the grocery store and get, a protein bar that's 250 calories. Okay, there's no reason you can't use Rebuild Strength as a snack during the day. Okay, one serving with water is about 190 calories. Okay, so much lower than a lot of people's average snack. I know it's something for me that I do frequently, and it's going to give you good quality protein, good quality carbohydrates, good vitamins and minerals. So it's really something that you can utilize more than just as a post-workout shake. Okay, so post-workout, it's going to help your body with everything that your body needs after exercising, but it's also a really good, just high protein snack during the day. Okay, but it doesn't end with after your workout. Okay, you had a breakfast, you got your body prepped for the day, maybe pre-workout, you had some caffeine, you fueled yourself during your training with hydrate or CR7 drive, depending on the type of workout you're doing. You now recovered with your rebuild strength. But there's one time during the day where your body's actually really resting, and that's at night. Okay, that's when your body is slowing down. You have the opportunity to really actually recover. Okay, so you want to protect yourself and take care of your body at night too. And that's going to come from Restore, right? So you can use Restore at night. Again, whether you've exercised or not, it doesn't matter. You can use it every single day to help combat just the damage that happens to your body throughout the day. Okay, so it's a really good option to, again, just support your body when you're sleeping. It's really that time when your body slows down and it starts to fix everything from the day so that you're able to wake up and be ready to go the next day. Okay. All right. So what does this look like? I know I just gave you tons of information over the last 45 minutes or so. So let's put it all together. Okay. Say you're someone that likes to work out in the morning, or maybe that's the only time during the day that you have to work out. You can do something that looks like this. Again, this is a template. It's just an idea of something to follow. But say you're working out in the morning, you don't want to get up super early to make breakfast, to do all that. You can roll out of bed, put some CR7 drive in a water bottle, and that will be good to fuel you. Okay, it's going to have your carbohydrates and it's going to have your electrolytes, so you'll be fueled and hydrated. Okay, post-workout, you'll have your rebuild strength. And just to clarify, I should have breakfast in here as well, because your rebuild strength after a workout is not a meal replacement. Okay, it's simply helping your body with what you just did to it. Okay, so it's helping you repair your muscles. It's helping you replenish your glycogen stores. It's not a meal replacement. It's taking care of your body after your exercise. Okay, then you have your breakfast, maybe a midday snack. Maybe you need some tea. Lunch, a good whole foods lunch with some aloe, a good protein snack in the afternoon. You could use Formula 1 with PPP. You could do Formula 1 Sport. You could do Rebuild Strength. So many options. Okay, a good whole foods dinner. This is when you can add in, some of your vitamins, whether it's, your Herbal Lifeline or your Restore, your Formula 2, because again, you want to make sure that you've got enough vitamins and minerals to help protect your body. Okay. And if you're working out at night, it really doesn't look a whole lot different. Okay, so you start your breakfast, maybe a more a heavier shake, so Formula 1, PPP, milk, berries, whatever you want to add into it. Spinach, I like adding. Same idea for snack. If you see this, one of the trends you're going to see is that you're constantly giving your body protein throughout the day. Okay, you're constantly supplying amino acids to your muscles throughout the day. Okay, again, a little caffeine in the morning, some CR7 drive for your workout, rebuild strength. And again, you can see here, rebuild strength does not replace your dinner. It's just simply your post-workout. Okay, and then your vitamins, minerals, all of that at night to help to protect your body as you sleep. Okay, so hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of how to structure your day. But one thing I want to leave you with before we're finished here is that, you may be thinking, I know I told you at the beginning, sports nutrition is for everybody. Okay, so sports nutrition is for that person that is just starting to work out, or sports nutrition is for that elite athlete. But I also know that there may be some people that are listening that are saying like, okay, that's cool, but I'm not really doing anything yet, and I'm a little bit overwhelmed. I don't really know how to start exercising. And the thing that's great about exercise is that you guys can do whatever it is that you love. Okay, so if you don't like going to the gym, I particularly do not enjoy going to the gym. I would much rather be outside. I'd rather be in a spin class. I would rather be doing yoga or Pilates or something. I'm going to do those things because that's what I love to do. So find what you love, whether it's dance or walking or spinning or lifting weights, whatever it is, do that, okay? And do it as much as you can. And, you know, even if you can't get 30 minutes in a day, no big deal, right? We know the science supports 3 10-minute bouts of exercise a day are just as beneficial as one 30-minute bout. So break it up if you need to. And if you can only get 10 in during the day, don't not do 10 because you can't get the full 30. 10 is better than nothing. So something is always better than nothing. You know, there's simple ways, you know, roll out of bed in the morning, set your alarm 10 minutes early, 10 minutes of sit-ups, push-ups, jumping jacks, running in place before you get in the shower, and you've got a third of your workout done for the day, okay? Find an extra 10 minutes to walk around during the day. Or I know we are probably all guilty of spending at least 10 minutes a day on social media. So as you're scrolling through the phone, like, do some squats or something while you're scrolling through the phone. Run in place, multitask, okay? There's ways to get in physical activity without completely throwing off your entire day, right? So, and once you start doing those little things, being active becomes just part of your routine, all right? So do what you love, do as much as you can, and fuel yourself properly with every single workout, and you're gonna find that it's fun, right? And you can maximize that workout, and you're gonna see the results from your workout. And if you're not eating after your workout, you're never gonna see those results, okay? So you gotta make sure that you take care of your body as well as possible. And when you're being active and when you're doing all those things, tag us, follow us. We wanna be inspired by the types of exercise that you guys are doing out there and the healthy, active lifestyle that you're living. All right. So I know it's late. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I hope that was beneficial, and I look forward to hopefully. So thank you so much and have a great evening.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you very much for this presentation and for the explaining us what the importance is of our H24 products. Please send me the video, why carbs plus proteins, if it's possible. Then I'll make sure everyone gets it here. And for the ones that came in late, I've recorded this webinar, so there's a possibility to hear it and see it back afterwards. And we will send it out to you as well. So thank you very, very much. Yeah, and yeah, please send the video so I'll make sure everyone gets that.
Perfect.
Yes? Okay, perfect. Have a good day, Inele.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.